Well, we started out really as a publishing house, but my goal has always been transformation. So just like Tony Robbins makes you walk on fire, or somebody makes you outward bound, makes you climb a mountain, my goal is really to create transformation in people, and I do it through telling their story. So we all have a story. We all have what we call an ignite moment. Our ignite moment is really what changes us and transforms us. And when we tell that story in a way that it helps another person move forward in their life, there's this incredible healing, synergy, closeness, connection. And it really actually transforms not just the writer, but the reader. So I'm just infatuated with the idea of people telling their stories, sharing their stories in the essence of connecting us on a planetary level, because we all have a story. It doesn't matter where we are, what we do, what color our skin is, what gender we are. Our story really is our imprint. It's our unique fingerprint. It's the thing that defines us and yet refines us in so many ways. So I was on the plane flying here to Miami, and the woman beside me started talking to me. She told me her story in about 5 or 6 minutes. And what was fascinating is I thought to myself, if this plane crashes, like, I'm pulling her body out, I'm saving her because I just heard her story. And yet, if I would have sat there the whole time, not talking to her and just with my head like this, the plane would have crashed and I would have saved myself. And so this idea of understanding people on a far more deeper intrinsic level based on their story, where they've come from, what they've been through, that to me is going to heal humanity. Because as soon as you tell your story, you create this, the sympathy synapse, you know, the empathy synapse, the compassion synapse, and that will end wars, and that will end racism, and that will end prejudice. And so my vision is, how do we tell these 7 billion stories, and how do we make it so that every single person on the planet wants to tell their story, is empowered to tell their story, instead of what we've been living in is this ambition shaming and this, you know, fear of letting people see who we really are. And so as the meta universe has been growing, my thought is, how do we create the authentic universe? How do we allow people to be collectively in a community where they are authentically themselves? And what's more authentic than my story? If I've been assaulted or raped or grew up in the slums, or, you know, whatever my story is, I could create community around my story, around my addiction, around my lack of understanding, around my weight issues. And that community is what I call the authentics. These are your authentic people, your authentic community. So my desire is, I know the meta universe is coming. I know Web3 is here. Like, it's just a matter of when do we step in and say, hey, humanity, let's tell our story so that we can be a better humanity, so we can understand each other more. And how do we do that now with what's growing, the technology? How do we use technology to actually become more connected?